Hi everyone, so today I will be showing you this bracelet that I invented myself called the Laced Up Bracelet. I think this bracelet is super cool. I used the Rainbow Loom Web Store's new limited edition bands for this and I think it looks so cool. It is reversible, so the opposite side has this single chain going down with these kind of stripes on the side, but I prefer this side right here. I think it is a really unique looking bracelet. There's not really other bracelets out there that look similar to this bracelet, so it's a really unique look. And without further ado, let's get started. Today you will need your loom, your hook, and as many rubber band colors as you like. I will be using Rainbow Loom Web Store's new limited edition bands in oranges and cream and pretty in pink. I am also using clear jelly, which is also from the Rainbow Loom Web Store, and you will also need one C-clip. I am also using clear jelly, which is also from the Rainbow Loom Web Store, and you will also need one C-clip. So first you are going to take your color that is going to be going vertical in your bracelet, which for me is going to be white, and you're going to put it from the bottom pin to the top pin. Now you are going to take your second color, that is going to be the color that makes an arrow sort of figure, and put it going diagonally, and take another band and put it vertically, and now take your next color and do the same sort of V shape here. Like that. So you may want to check your loom and make sure that you've placed your bands in the right position pin-wise to see how many bands you skip, how many pins you skip. So if instead of putting your bands on the pin that is closest diagonally to it, you're putting it to the farther one. So now I'm going to go next to my next vertical band and take my next color and make this little V shape again. And I will show you the band process one last time. You are going to put your band vertically and do another V shape here. So basically you're going to continue this process throughout the whole length of your loom, and I will come back when I have finished putting all my bands throughout the whole length of my loom. You may want to pause the video here if you are following along with this tutorial. So I have now finished putting the V-shaped bands and the vertical bands throughout the whole length of my loom, and I will show you how to do the next step. So you are now going to take your fourth color of band, and basically what you're going to do is double loop it across all your pins. However, you are going to skip this first pin, and now you're going to loop it onto these three pins here. So what you're going to do is you can double loop it on your fingers or on the loom. So I'm going to show you one way, which is double looping it on your fingers, like that. And now you're going to place it across the right all the way to the left to make a small triangle, like so. Another way you can put this on is you're going to go around the three pins here, and then you're going to twist the band here and reapply it onto the pins again. So you've basically double looped the band, like so. I will show you again. Double loop it on your fingers. This is just one method. You can choose which one suits you better. And put it across the three pins on your loom to create a triangle across your loom, like that. You're going to continue this all the way down to the bottom of your loom, including these three pins here. So I have now finished putting all my bands on my loom, and we are now ready to do the hooking process. So before we start, please make sure that your loom looks similar to the bands that are on my loom. And now we can begin the hooking process. So first you're going to begin with your hook, and you're going to grab this bottom band here, and hook it vertically up to this top pin. You may want to push your bands down. Now you're going to go to the left pin here and hook over and put it onto the same pin that is in the middle. Same with the other side. Push your bands down, and now you're going to hook the vertical band and the two bands that are on the left and right that go diagonally. Now you're going to hook the vertical band and the two diagonal bands. And again, start with the vertical band, and now the two diagonal bands. And basically you're going to continue this hooking process throughout to the end of your loom. Remember, when you are doing the hooking process, always hook the white band first. And then the two bottom diagonal bands. So now at this point I'm going to fast forward, and then I will catch back, and then we can start again together to create an extension for this bracelet. If you have used 2 looms to create this bracelet, you will not need an extension. So now your loom should look something like this, and we are going to remove everything from our loom except for the bands on this pin, because remember, this is the pin that is holding all of our loose bands. And so I'm going to remove everything except for the bands on that pin. So now your bracelet should look something like this, and if you use 2 looms to create this bracelet, then you would have a full wrist length of chain, so you would not need to create an extension. But those of you with 1 loom, we are going to create a single chain extension now. Creating an extension is really easy, so I'm going to start with my loom's arrows pointing up, and I'm going to go ahead and create a single chain using my white bands that are the bands of my middle chains on my bracelet. So this should be enough for my bracelet since it goes around most of my wrist. So what you're going to do now is take your hook and you're going to insert it in this pin and grab all the bands on here, like that. Be very careful. And now you're going to go ahead and flip your loom around so that way the arrows are pointing down. And you are basically just going to put all these bands here onto this bottom pin. So this part is a little bit tricky, so be careful and make sure that none of your bands fall off. Like that. And now you're going to go ahead and do the hooking process on all of the bands here. Now you are going to take a C-clip and put it on the bands that are on this very last pin that you hooked, like that. And now you can remove your bands from the loom. So now you are just going to take both ends of your bracelet and connect them together. And there should be a clear a loop right here of the bands that you put going horizontally on your loom. And just attach it to that end there. And we are now done with our laced up rainbow loom bracelet. So this is basically what my bracelet looks like. These white bands that I have used are from the limited edition Rainbow Loom web store rubber band packs, and I really like these white bands because you know how regular white bands from Rainbow Loom attract a lot of graphite from your pencils when you wear these bracelets to school, if your schools allow you to wear them to school. And these bands do not get really gray and dirty looking from your pencil lead and stuff. So that's why I prefer using these white bands over regular white bands. So these are a good alternative to using white bands when you are wearing bracelets like this to school. And that is how you make the laced up bracelet. So I really hope you guys like this design. Once again, it is my own original design, and it is a pretty easy bracelet, and it doesn't take a ton of bands, so that's why I really like this bracelet. I would have named it the X and O bracelet because I think that name would have been perfect for this bracelet, but there are a couple bracelets out there that are already named that, so I had to think of a different name. Please give this video a thumbs up if it helped you out, and also subscribe for more videos. Also, follow me on Instagram and Pinterest. My username for both is Tutorials by A. You should go check those two out, and I will see you guys in my next video. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!